Give value. That's the topic for today. Good morning. I'm Bill DeWeese, professional voiceover talent, voiceover coach, voiceover demo producer. I think voiceover has been a culture for decades of getting as opposed to giving. Not that they don't give, but the emphasis on the front end is to get. And I want to flip that on its head today to help you make more money in voiceover, which is what this channel is all about. So I'm glad you're here. Welcome. How you doing? Hope you had a great weekend. We had a wonderful weekend. We joined my daughter Mallory and her family, our three grandkids and son-in-law, for a quick scoot over to Cincinnati to Kings Island for their Fright Fest. And so we got up. I was up at like a little bit after 4 o'clock on Saturday morning, and we left early Saturday. Went down, went right over to Kings Island, spent the night, and then got up, had breakfast, visited with my mother-in-law, and then we all came home, pretty early yesterday as well. So it was a really fast in and out. And I've got to say that Kings Island, I mean, we're still season pass holders, and this is the first and only time we've used our pass this year. But we were season pass owners back when we were first married back in the day. So Kings Island has been a big part of our life. But I got to tell you, I'm not a big Fright Fest guy. I'm one of those kind of people that gore doesn't entertain me. It frightens me. It does not entertain me at all. So as the sun started to go down and all the ghoulies started to come out, they have after like, excuse me, I think at 6 o'clock, all the spooky stuff really starts to happen. So my son-in-law and my oldest grandson, who's 13, they stayed for all the festivities there, but we left. Had a great time. I hope you had a great weekend as well. Take a second, if you would, check in on the live stream chat. Let me know who you are, where you're at, and always fun to do a little roll call and see your comments there at the end as well. And seems like there was one other thing. Oh, yeah, a slightly important thing. Tomorrow night is my next live voiceover training event. Now, if you're in my voiceover blueprint, you've already got access to this content. Okay. This is not new information for you. But if you are not in my blueprint, I've got a brand new 7 p.m. Central. The Marketing Edge. I'm going to teach you how to build a six-figure voiceover income. So I'll be sharing like all the ways that I market, but with a big emphasis on direct marketing, because I believe and I talked about this briefly last week, that if you want to look at this for the long term and build a sizable income for the long haul, then direct marketing is going to be something that you'll most likely want and need to do. By the way, delicious, freshly ground and freshly brewed Michigan cherry this morning. If you guys are coffee lovers and haven't checked that out from Meyer, this is an unsponsored endorsement, by the way. This has, for Vicky and I, this is outranked. I can take this off now. This is outranked every other coffee we've ever had. It is our go-to now, and we grind a fresh pot every morning. Good stuff. So let's talk about value for a second. The culture of voiceover, and oftentimes the culture of business, historically speaking, has been one of, if you're the business owner, in our case, which we are as the voiceover talent, it's getting value before we give value. So the focus is on what I want, what I need, what I require. That approach can only work when there's not very much competition in the market. But that is not the case. The technology has changed business, not just voiceover, business in general. There's plenty of options for everybody in just about every industry or market imaginable. And so if you want to get value, you've got to learn to give value. And when you're online and you see voiceover talent talking about what you deserve to get, I would really be careful with that. Not to say that you don't deserve something, and not to say that a good relationship it's mutually beneficial to both parties. And so I'm certainly not denying that. But the level of success that you reach in voiceover will depend on the value you give in terms of the product that you provide to your client. It better be good. The service you provide better be top notch. And then the attitude in which you work with your client, you better make them love you, because there are a lot of options out there in this and in every market. Let me just share a quick little story. It has nothing to do with voiceover, but I think will illustrate this point. When we moved back to Illinois, not all that long ago, we bought a house, loved the house, but the house was built back in the '90s. I mean, it's been around for a while, but it's built like, I mean, this thing has to be, even though we don't get hurricanes here, I'm sure it'd be hurricane proof. That's how well framed it is. It's just a solid, solid house, but it hadn't been updated. So there are things that we need to do, some small remodeling, but a lot of painting, reflooring, recarpeting, just a lot of things to update it. And trying to find a contractor to, number 1, respond to our inquiries, number 2, show up even after we made contact, was unbelievable, just unbelievable. And then we finally reached out. I was trying to do it through some, local contractors. Just couldn't get anybody to show up or respond. And then I reached out to, and this is an unpaid endorsement, by the way, it was CertaPro, which is a franchise. So I contacted the local franchisee here. And my gosh, they have been amazing. They have been, in terms from a level of service, the best contractors. And believe me, we've lived in 4 houses in the past 3 years now. We've worked with a lot of contractors over the course of our lives. Never seen anything like this. First of all, just the attention to detail, the showing up on time, the checking in on a regular basis to make sure we were happy with what was going on, uh, finding out that this particular work crew that we were working with had additional skills and they were able to do remodeling for us. There was a day last week when they had finished up what they were doing and wanted to know if there's anything else that they could do for us that day, not charging us for it. Just if there's anything odd jobs around the house. They hung 3 big TVs for us in our house last week. Didn't charge us a nickel for that, just because they had some extra time. They were going above and beyond. Now, when I need somebody else to do work at my house, who do you think I'm gonna call? It's gonna be those guys and nobody else because they're the ones who provided value to us. And I wish I could get that through, when I see somebody ranting online about, "Well, make sure you get what you deserve." Well, certainly it has to be mutually beneficial. But you better be thinking first and foremost about the value you provide to somebody else. And I know, many have grown up in a culture of what, feeling what they deserve to be paid simply because they exist. But in the business world, in the real world, that's not the way it works. Just because you want something, just because you think you deserve something, doesn't mean you're going to get it. You need to provide value. Value first. A business doesn't want to hire you because you need money. They don't care whether you need money or not. Maybe from a humanitarian perspective, but from a business perspective, that's not, never lead with that because I need the money. What you lead with is the value you're going to provide for that business. That's the way you get work. That's the way you increase your standing within that business, and that's the way you increase your income, whether you're an employee or whether you're a business owner. So just some things. I know, maybe this is something you know well, and some of you guys are business owners or are employees who have understand those concepts and have lived by those and have benefited from them. But there's a lot of folks who just don't. And I don't want you to be stumbling around in the wilderness simply because you don't understand that you have to give something to get something. And you need to do it well, and you have to do it consistently because, again, in this marketplace, there are just so many options. People don't have to hire me. They don't have to hire you. And usually, the reason the clients come back to me is not because they think I'm this great talent. I mean, not to say they don't respect what I do and they don't like what I do. If they didn't like what I did, they wouldn't hire me again. But they like the fact that it's the attitude that I bring. I do things on time. I do them well. And if there's anything else that needs to be done, I always follow up and make sure it gets done. And when you're solving problems for a client, they're going to come back to you again and again and again and again. My existence as a voiceover coach, my mission is to help you make money and to help you make more of it. And that's a good thing, but that doesn't happen because you wish it or you want it. It happens because you provide service to somebody else, and it becomes a mutually beneficial relationship. So take that. I know that's not like a big motivational. This is Motivational Monday, and it's not like an inspirational quote, but it's a principle. It is a principle of business that if you will live by it, it will serve you well, and it will certainly, as a result, inspire you. I know I mentioned it earlier. I'm going to mention it again. If you haven't signed up for the class tomorrow night, link below in the description. All right, make sure you get in. We limit these to 100 people, and I know we've been selling this faster than any course in terms of the speed at which we've been doing it faster than anything else. It's not filled yet, but I want to make sure that we get you in if you're interested in being there. And even if you can't be there live, if you get the program, which is $97 by the way, we're selling it for under $100. And it's not just the class itself. I've got some bonus videos that go with it where I actually demonstrate in real time the things that I'm teaching. So the teaching becomes more explanatory or explain and teach you what you would need to understand. But much like my blueprint, where I let my blueprint students watch me as I work in the studio, I actually turn on the camera in the studio and I do these things and show you how they work in real time, in real life. So that's all part of that. So even if you can't be there, you'll have recordings of everything, including the live event afterward, and that you guys can watch as often as you want, whenever you want. Okay, well, let's see who we've got on the line here this morning. We've got Galen in Cincinnati. She was first to check in. Hey, Galen. We've got Corey in Whitehall, Wisconsin, Phil in Tokyo, Joe in Rhode Island, Susan in Stillwater, Ron in Charleston, Derek, how are you doing in Kennewick, Washington? Galen said, created a cold call list over the weekend, making phone calls today. Go get him, Galen. All right, report back tomorrow. Let us know how it goes. Terry, good morning. It's a gorgeous fall morning in Fallston, Maryland. Fantastic. Looking forward to tomorrow night. As am I, Terry. Looking forward to seeing you there. Ron, see you tomorrow night. Yes, sir. Bob, hello from Reedsville, North Carolina. Happy to be producing 7 scripts today for a great repeat client. And that's what you'll learn in the blueprint, right, Bob? Thanks, Bob. Hey, thanks for checking in and for being here. Fantastic. Congrats. Greg in Asheville, North Carolina. Jolie expecting snow this week in Minnesota. Whoa. By the way, just recorded some brand new public service announcements for you guys for the Minnesota Highway Department or the Minnesota Department of Highway Safety. Be listening to those coming to a radio station near you. Bill in Pine Knoll Shores, North Carolina. Denise in Long Island. Sandra in Dallas, Fort Worth. Melissa, how are you doing in San Diego? What's up, Tracy in Rochester, Minnesota? Chrissy, North Carolina. Ralph in Cedar Falls, Iowa. David in Nashville, North Carolina. Mark in Estes Park, Colorado. Hope you had a great family trip. Yeah, we had a great, thank you, Mark. Had a great time. Hey, Mike, good morning to you from Spanish Fort, Alabama. Dave in New York City. Your Mazda of New Rochelle promo is awesome. Dave, thank you. I don't recall recording that. It's funny. There's a lot of things that I do a pretty high volume of work, so I don't recall everything that I do afterwards. Kind of becomes a blur. But I really don't. Are you sure that's me? I once did Mercedes from New York, but I don't recall. I don't know. I have to check it out. Simulink to the YouTube video if you can. Sean in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Brian in Tucson. Hey, Rob, how are you doing in Loveland? Hope you had a great weekend. Jack in Phoenix. Ralph in Fresno. Susan, super excited about the marketing training, but have to catch it on replay due to prior commitment. Hey, no problem, no problem. Again, when you're in the program, you'll get access to it whenever you want. Wally, great week is here in Maryland. Fantastic. Good morning, Andrew in Calgary. Aaron in Columbia, Missouri. Dr. Bob in Clearwater, Florida. What's up? Ethan, good morning to you from sunny, chilly Toronto. Miss Johnny in Houston. Mark. Hey, Mark, with the question you're asking, if you would just direct that to training@BillDeWeese.com. Training@BillDeWeese.com. It's okay. Inside administrative stuff, so I can address that there. Thank you. Dwight, good morning. Providence, Rhode Island. Lessons learned from the voiceover blueprint are priceless. Nowhere on this planet. Whoa! Nowhere on this planet will you get the value provided by the voiceover blueprint. Invest in yourself. Stop spinning your VO wheels. I wish I would have done sooner. Dave, thank you for the kind, unsolicited testimonial. I certainly appreciate that. I'm all about, man, I spun my wheels for a while. I mean, I know what that feels like. And so I'm all about getting people from point A to point B as quickly and efficiently and painlessly as possible. John Reinbeck. Hello, Bill. How are you doing? Okay. he got a fortune cookie on Saturday that said, "You will be successful in a business of your own." The fates have foretold it. AMG, how are you doing in North Carolina? Scotty in Brookings, South Dakota. Kings Island was my first big amusement park as a kid. It's a partnership. How can I serve? How can I make it better? Absolutely, Scotty. Hey, Sean. Good morning. Let's see here. Bill has created the Fountain of VO. It starts with mindset. Well, it does, and that is the first module in the voiceover blueprint, because if you don't get it right here between your two ears, nothing else works right. And in life and in all things, it all starts here. It all starts there. Tanya, hello there from Winning South Philly. Go Birds, go Phils. Hey, Brad, how are you doing in sunny and warm South Africa? Ralph, the lack of customer service in many businesses, including contractors, is astounding these days. You are lucky to have found someone dependable and reliable. I feel that way too. I absolutely feel that way. And that's not the first situation we came. I mean, my gosh, yeah, I don't even need to go in it all. I mean, it's been, over the years, it's just been nightmare stories. Amanda, how are you in chilly Westchester, Pennsylvania? Looking forward to tomorrow night's class. Fantastic, Amanda. I'll be looking for you there. Ralph, how are you doing? Let's see here. Well, lost my place. The YouTube stream's trying to prompt me forward here. Where did I leave off? Let's see here. Douglas in New York City. Peter Jones in the UK. What's up, Peter? How are you doing? We've got, let's see here, Douglas. I've launched my VO business this month, and so many of your videos have been really great help. I'm wondering if you had a good resource for creating an operating agreement service contract. As a rule, I never provide contracts for my clients. If they want, I do it on a handshake, so to speak. If they have a contract, I'll sign that, but I never do contracts on my side of things. I know, different from everybody else in voiceover, right? I'm not an establishment person. I operate differently, and I have a 99.7% collection rate. So it works, is all I can say. It works. Let's see here. Willie, good morning. Or Charles, I'm sorry. Good morning. AG in India. Mark, hello. Rusty and the UP. How are you doing? Thanks for being here. Have a great day, guys. We'll talk to you soon. See you tomorrow night, by the way. Get signed up. Link below in the description.